Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. We're going to do a quick synopsis of last night's NBA games. We're going to talk about the Core 4 review and how they did last night, as well as the featured four players tonight. And then we're going to jump into the player pricing as we look to build our player pools and our subsequent core fours out of there to complete our 8-man rosters on DraftKings or our 9-man rosters on FanDuel. Now, it was a very, very solid night of NBA for us, man. A lot of great games, a lot of awesome performances we saw. I hope you had some of that Russell Westbrook last night because that dude went the fuck off, man. It was a great game for him. So let's go ahead without further ado, man. No, first, I gotta say something because and this is shout out to a lot of y'all in the sweatshop, man, because you know we work really hard to get many different forms of content out to you. I mean, the player pool spreadsheets, the stack sheets on stack slates. We've got videos on the website that kind of show you how we build the bankrolls and how we that's the bankroll management aspect, how we build the actual lineup. I jump into the midday mix just about every day. The first thing I do is I try to address you and let you know exactly what we're doing in our core four roster builds, how we go about compiling that information. Also, I mean, the newsletter that we send out to all of the guys and girls that subscribe, man, is really top notch. So if you find yourself, you know, not performing as well as you want to, ask yourself a question: are you using all the tools? Are you in the Facebook group? Let me tell you something. If you complain at all, if you feel like you're not getting uh, the most you can get, and you're not in the Facebook group, you are making a horrible mistake. One guy says, "Well, I don't have Facebook, so you better get you a motherfucking Facebook and get your ass in the group." That's where it all goes down. I'm telling you, these are some of the brightest minds in every corner of daily fantasy sports. We got guys doing NHL write-ups. You've got guys doing uh, NBA. We got MLB, PGA. Everything is going on in here. The Facebook group is where it's at, and you've got to get in there. So if you had not been doing as well as you thought, and this is for some of the newer people that the newer guys that just subscribed or whatever. If you find yourself not doing as well as you initially planned, make sure you're using all the tools. Get in the Facebook group. Please be a part. Ask questions. Let's chop it up. Let's mix it up. That's what we are here for. We are here to help you. So there's a ton of guys in there. Their only aim is to win, of course, to win for the shop, to strike a blow, and to help the next man out. It's an altruistic movement. It's something that we're very serious about. So make sure you are using all the tools that we provide. I'm talking about the cheat sheets, DVP rankings, the last three games we do, the write-ups that we have, the Facebook group, please, like the website, the Core 4 roster building strategy, everything. There's so many things that we offer. Use it all. Use it all. Because baseball is about to start, and I don't want anybody behind the curve, man. We're at a point now where thousands of us can start baseball together. It's not like basketball when it was just me and 10 dudes, and then it was like 20 dudes, and then it was 100 dudes. And then, nah. We rolled into baseball with fucking thousands. So that's very important, and I'm very excited about that. Let's go ahead and jump into last night's Core 4 review. This was a really solid core. Now, on a regular night, this core would have took down some shit. But we had so many crazy performances that this was just a very, very nice core four. It did not hit where I wanted it to go, but it was very good. I was very pleased, very satisfied. Nobody snowflaked. Everybody was on point. Let's go ahead and jump into it. We started this lineup. For me, I loved the matchup that John Wall was in. And if you remember, as we were talking last night's show, as we were talking about some stacks, and I was going through the player pricing, and I just was like, yeah, I like this guy from Washington. And I was like, oh shit, I like this guy from Washington. I like this. Damn, I like everybody from Washington except Martin Gortat. Well, that told me that I really should be fucking with John Wall because they were going to play well. So I did stack those guys in the tournament. John Wall did make the core four. He was only 8% owned, 9.7K. Very solid price on him. He brought back 60 DraftKings points, so that was beautiful. Love that. Next, we had Dennis Schroeder. He was a guy I like to get a chalky guy in the core four, a guy I think is going to keep me with the rest of the field. And this was kind of a miss because Dennis Schroeder at 18% owned, 6.2K, only scored 28 DraftKings points, and most of that shit didn't come to the second half. Dude did not play a very good game. It took him like way late in the game to figure out that he couldn't stop Kyrie and Kyrie couldn't stop him. But Kyrie knew that Schroeder couldn't stop him since the fucking opening tip off, and he just destroyed him. So that's just what that was. It had Covington was also a part of the core for Rob Covington and 17% ownership, 7.2K. I thought it was a fair price. He brought back 36.5 DraftKings points. Not a horrible showing there. And James Johnson rounded out the core four at 4% owned. 5.6K brought back 41 DraftKings points. Excellent showing for the homie James Johnson. And see, he's a guy who people are still not going to be on. The dude's ownership stays low as fuck. And he's going to continue to stay around that 5 to 6K range and keep dropping 40s whenever he gets a chance. I love him. That's my dude. I fuck with that dude. Now, this core 4, theoretically, at 5x value, would have brought back this core 4 because I spent about 28.7K. And at 5x value, they would have brought back 143.5 DraftKings points, which is not horrible. Which is not horrible. 5x, it's not horrible. At 6x value, it would have brought back 172.2 DraftKings points. What is Court 4 brought back 165.5 DraftKings points, a very solid core. Finished just about 6 points shy of that 6x value, so they did hit 5.8x. You cannot pitch a fit at that. That is a really nice showing from last night's core 4. It helped me to cash in all of my single entry GPPs and actually a little bit more than double my buy-in. So that was a very awesome night for us in the sweatshop, which makes me profitable for the week, baby. The week is profitable. Ooh, gotta love that. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the feature for players of the night. These are the 4 most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS sweatshop, in the Facebook VIP, and as well as on Twitter. We're gonna start with the Who Dat, scoring all them points over there, player of the night. This is a guy, man, that last year at some spots, this dude was 7, 8K in some spots. Like he was fucking a beast, a wrecking ball. And coming off of an injury that he suffered, I think it was a knee injury, something like that. He had not been playing particularly well. Had not been playing at all in the beginning of the season, actually. But now we're starting to see it all come together for him. He's going out, he's playing well. He's kind of solidifying himself as like no Rudy. I got this rebound. I got this. No Rudy. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Rudy can't shoot. Give me the ball. And he's kind of taking the team back. And we saw that against the Brooklyn Nets. We're talking about Derek Favors, 6% ownership, 5.3K. He went out and dropped 42 DraftKings points. He has been on a roll as of late, second double-double in a row. The next play we're going to talk about is how did I miss that play today? How the fuck did I miss this play? I can tell you how I missed this play. Sometimes, I like to do something that I like to hedge from site to site. And this is something that you can use too, because it's very rare that a situation like this happens and it really burns me. Because, I liked Chris Middleton on FanDuel, where he was 5.3K. On DraftKings, I liked Chris Middleton, but he was 6K. And I felt that a good way for me to get exposure to Chris Middleton, but still avoid that risk of him not playing particularly well, was to go ahead and give him a shot on FanDuel, play him on FanDuel, fade him on DraftKings. That's what I did. How the fuck did I miss that? 45 DraftKings points for Chris Middleton. He was 15% owned on a 6-game slate. If a guy can make 15% ownership, that means a lot of you all are thinking and you're on it. He was only 6K in salary on DraftKings, but he was 5.3 on FanDuel. I liked him a little bit more over there. How the fuck did I miss that? Is the play of the night. The next play we're going to talk about is the Heat Check play of the night. Salute. Check it out. There's no way that we can even talk about anyone else winning the Heat Check player of the night. This goes solely and completely to Russell Westbrook. 28% ownership. When the fuck did it come out that he was going to be 28% owned? I gotta be real. I didn't see that shit coming. I was sitting tall, sitting high in my single entry GPPs. And I was like, damn, who the fuck do these people have? Like, everybody has like 2 more guys to go. I had John Wall and LeBron in the same lineup. Like, I'm at 285 with a player, with Joe Ingles and fucking Alec Burks to go. And who the fuck else do these people have? Like, what's going on? This motherfucker ran down the whole DFS world last night. If you had Russell Westbrook later on in the evening, boy, I tell you, he helped you out. He definitely did. Now I did have some of them, but I didn't have. I mean, 28. I should have had 28% of them. That's what this says. The field was 28% Russell Westbrook, and that dropped me from as high as fifth in a single digit GPP to just at the cash line. I can't fuss about it. Dude went out, had an awesome game, 28% ownership, 13.1K was the salary. He went out and got 89.75 DraftKings points. An excellent game. Salute, shout out to you, Mr. Russell Westbrook. You the Heat Check Player of the Night. Now we must talk about that one motherfucker. And since I am feeling good, it is Saturday morning. We've got a solid 7-game slate. I'm not going to go in on this sorry motherfucker too much. But I'm going to tell you something. Martin Gortat, you's a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass. How the fuck does everybody in the starting five ball except you? What the fuck is that? How do you do that? How do you find a way? How do you find a way to be the only shitty motherfucker in the starting five? 10% ownership, 5.7K, solid spot, 14 DraftKings points. Tonight you a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass, and I ain't gonna roster your bitch ass again because Ian Mahinmi is coming to take your fucking minutes. Ian Mahinmi went out and had 15 DraftKings points in his 15 minutes. You played damn near 30 minutes and brought us back 14 DraftKings points. You a motherfucking snowflake. Joe Snowflake ass. You almost ran off on the plug, and I ain't gonna roster your bitch ass again. Now let's move on with the rest of the motherfucking show. What we're gonna do now? We're gonna jump into a very quick player pricing. This is how we determine our player pools. I'm gonna take you through each guy, give you a little bit of insight as it comes up to me, and normally this would be my first time like checking it out. My first look. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I am back to the research tactics that really helped us out in the beginning, man. I'm chopping at the bit. I'm looking at as soon as the slate starts, I'm looking at the next one. So that's just the way I'm doing it. Let's go ahead and look at some slate recognition. We know we've got some early joints because the games start at 6 o'clock today, but the main slate is an 8 p.m. 7-game slate. 8 p.m. 7 games is the main slate, right? But we do have some early jump off at 6. We've got 3 games there. We've got 4 games at 9. We've got a 4-game turbo. You know what I'm going to tell you to do. You should understand the concept by now. Make some game. Throw them bitches in the main. Make a 4-game in a turbo. Isolate yourself to those 4 games and then throw that bitch in the main. It's a very, very, very easy strategy. Look, 9 p.m. We got a late game. 4 games there. Throw them bitches in the main. Throw them in the main. It's very, 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 very simple concept. Do it. So let's go ahead and talk about the 7 games we do have on deck. And of course, the highest salaried player on the slate is going to be the beard James Harden. He's coming in at 11.1K. That is not a bad price for James Harden, but going up against the Memphis Grizzlies, man, is not an area that, at point guard especially, that I love to attack. It's just not, It's just not a place that I love to attack. And, the game is it's sort of a short slate because I think there's a couple games that are pretty shitty, so it kind of makes it almost like a 5-game slate. It almost makes it like a 5-game slate. So on a shorter slate, theoretically, I wouldn't have a problem with going with James Harden at 11.1, even though he hasn't been playing particularly well lately. But today, I don't think I'll be fucking with him. LeBron at 10.9. Yeah, he's in play. Definitely. Giannis at 9.8. Okay, now the price. Now it's time to pounce. Because the price is under 10K on Giannis. It is time to pounce. I like him tomorrow. Of course, Damian Lillard is going to be in play at 9.6. The price jacked up on about 700. But facing the Brooklyn Nets at home, man, we just saw what fucking George Hill did to him. I don't have a problem with Damian Lillard tomorrow. Nikola Jokic is probably one of my favorite center plays on the board. Playing at home against Charlotte Hornets, we can attack the Hornets, rebound on the basketball. I do like him. Anthony Towns is in play for me as well at 9.4. We saw what the Bigs did last night, man. You talk about Boogie and AD. They had pretty solid games. Jimmy Butler at 9.1 is not a play that I'm particularly interested in tomorrow. Blake Griffin, yes, at 9K. I like him. Chris Paul probably will not play, man. He has to get taken out of the game last night, and I don't see an injury tag, but he may not play. I have to check up on that. Kawhi Leonard at 8.8. He's still under 9K. He's definitely in play. DeMar DeRozan, 8.7. Okay, yeah, we can rock with DeMar DeRozan. The price did go down on him. I like that. Kemba Walker is in play at 8.5. We can always attack the Denver Nuggets on the perimeter. Kyrie Irving is at 8.4. Coming off of that really good game, a lot of people are going to want to roster him tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to have too much today. Excuse me. I don't think I'm going to have too much Kyrie Irving. Hassan Whiteside is a no for me. Marc Gasol, yes, at 7.9. Mike Conley, you can give me some Mike Conley at 7.8. Kevin Love is out. You know, Kyle Lowry is going to be out for the rest of the season. TJ McCollum is in play for me, and if for me, if paying up to a guy like if paying up to Dame is too rich for your blood, take a shot at CJ McCollum and still get a piece of the Brooklyn Nets defense while you have the 29th ranked MVP. I do like Nicholas Batum at 7.3. Wade is also a really play that I really like tomorrow. I love going Dragic at 7.1, going up against Kyrie Irving defense. DeAndre Jordan is in play for me. Andrew Wiggins is not a play that I'm particularly interested in, especially with him seeing the defense of Kawhi Leonard. Brook Lopez at 6.8. How the fuck does Brook Lopez go from 5.9 to 6.8 and play like shit and nobody rostered him? It's got to be the matchup. It's got to be. Yusuf Nurkic is 6.7. That is a tall order for him, man. I don't like that price at all. Serge Ibaka 6.6 is a no for me. Dion Waiters is in play at 6.4. Wilson Chandler, if he does get the start, if Kevin Fareed is not playing, we can rock with him at 6.2. Dino Gallinari is also in play at 6.1. I like him. Ricky Rubio at 6.1. I'm not scared to play a point guard against the San Antonio Spurs. I'm just not. LaMarcus Aldridge at 6K is in play. I was a day early on him the other day, and he blew up last night. It's in the same spot. I think he can play very well. Zach Randolph is a no for me. Tyler Johnson, yes, at 5.7. Malcolm Brogdon, 5.6. If he is starting again, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Greg Monroe at 5.6 is in play for me. Definitely Lou Williams is a no for me. I don't like Lou Williams. James Johnson, the price is still 5.6 on this cat. No one wants to own him. The price is still 5.6. I still like him. Gary Harris is at 5.5. That is in play for me. Cody Zeller at 5.5. He probably is going to have his minutes restricted. You're probably because we know we're not going to see Frank Kaminsky. So we can look at Cody Zeller, because I think they're going to have to play him. They're going to have to give him some time. And they traded away the other bigs they had. They traded away Roy Hibbert. They traded away they traded away Roy Hibbert, and they traded away Spencer Hawes. So they really don't have a lot of bigs to play. Now with this, you can look at a guy like maybe see an increase in minutes for Marvin Williams, maybe some MKG. Cody Zeller, if he's not on the restriction, I kind of like him too. Alfred Camino at 5.5. He's a player that I definitely like. Jameer Nelson is a no for me. Marvin Williams, yes, give me some of that. Paul Gasol, 5.4, is in play. He's definitely in play. Patrick Beverly is a no for me. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is not a player that I really love today. But with the center situation in Charlotte and them needing somebody to get those rebounds and play big in the post, I don't have a problem with Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Rajon Rondo is in play at 5.2. So is Maurice Harkless. Corey Joseph, the price is down on him. He's down to 5.1. Not a bad play, I would say, but I'm not going to have him. Will Barton at 5.1. Will Barton is cheap as shit. 5.1. I like that. I like that. Tristan Thompson at 5.1 is not a play that I'm really interested in. Ryan Anderson at 4.9 is a no for me. Jeremy Lin is a no for me. Taylor Booker, yes, at 4.9. Jamal Murray, the price is all the way up on him. Now, this happened because he had a baller that he had a good ass game, but it was because Jameer Nelson didn't play. Now, if Jameer Nelson plays, there's no fucking way I'm going to roster Jamal Murray at 4.8. Bobby Portis at 4.8 is still in play. Pretty. If he's going to be starting, still in play. Tony Allen is a solid play at 4.8. I kind of like that. Mason Plumlee at 4.7 is a no. Ronnie Hollis-Jefferson is a no for me. Nikola Mirotic at 4.7. I don't like that. Trevor Ariza, no. Michael Carter Williams is out. Boogie Jang at 4.6 could be a solid play there. Evan Turner, he's going to be back sooner than later. But Jonas Valanciunas is a no. Tony Parker, no for me. JJ Redick, yes. I think I like JJ Redick because we may not see Chris Paul. The scoring got to come from somewhere. I don't mind JJ Redick at 4.4. Eric Gordon is in play for me at 4.4 as well. Dwayne Dedmon, I kind of like that at 4.3 if he's going to be starting. Josh Richardson, 4.3. He shot the bed last night. Did not have a very good game, but I think he can improve upon that tonight. The coach's son, gotta love him at 4.2. Yes, give me some of that. Robin Lopez is a no. Channing Frye is a no. PJ Tucker, no. Wancho at 4K is not a play that I really like. David Lee is a no for me. Sean Kilpatrick is a no. Karis LeVert is a no. Darren Williams, no. Derek Williams, no. Matthew Dellavedova, no. DeMarre Carroll, 3.9. I'm going to give that some consideration. Vince Carter is not a play that I really like. Nene Hilario is not a play that I really like tomorrow. As well as Danny Green and DeJounte Murray. Let's go ahead and find somebody. Norman Powell at 3.6. I kind of like that tomorrow. Today, excuse me. I kind of like that. I'm used to taping the show last night, but I'm taping it the day of. Jamal Crawford is a player that I kind of like at 3.6, especially if we know we're not going to be seeing Chris Paul. He asked to get taken out of the game last night. Patty Mills at 3.6 is a no for me. Bielitsa, man. What are we going to do with Bielitsa? Are we going to start, like, playing this dude? Because the motherfucker goes out and scores, like, 40, 50 DraftKings points, like, fairly regularly. Like, too much, too often for us to not have a piece of it. I'm not fucking with it, though. Sean Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie at 3.6 is a no for me. Let's go ahead and find that gem for today. The 3K play of the day. And you know what? With Frank Kaminsky out, I think it's a guy that we're going to have to go to. I think there's a guy that we're going to have to go to. And when we talk about Christian Wood at 3K, he could see a lot of minutes because Miles Plumlee is out. He could see a lot of minutes at the center spot. That's a 3K play today, Christian Wood. So let's go ahead and talk about the point totals for tonight's slate. I remember this thing starts at 6, I believe, but the main starts at 8. So we've got a few games earlier, then we've got a few games later. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into all of those. And here we are. Okay, we're gonna start with the first game too at 6 o'clock, where the Detroit Pistons are going to Philadelphia to take on the 76ers. This is a very solid point total. 211.5 points is the total. We've got a 5-game home dog situation. 5-point home dog situation with the Philadelphia 76ers. They are the home dog. They're receiving 5 points. Detroit, man, have been playing pretty well. Pretty good team basketball lately. There's a chance that we're going to see Ish Smith start over Reggie Jackson. And in these situations, what happens most times is it fucks up the chemistry. Ish Smith goes in and sucks, and then Reggie Jackson plays kind of well off the bench. But nobody really benefits heavily in things like this. And I think that could be what we see in a situation like this today. So I'm going to temper my expectations with those guys. Drummond is a beast. He's going to eat. He's going to rebound the fuck out of the ball against the Philadelphia 76ers. There's no problem with that. I also like KCP. We know that we're not going to be seeing the best backcourt defender that the Philadelphia 76ers have in Gerald Henderson. We're probably going to be seeing Nick Stauskas get the start there. And so that KCP, fire him up. I like KCP. I like him a lot. On the Philadelphia side, Dario Saric is in play, definitely. Also, you can look to Robert Covington. But, this team has similar strengths and similar weaknesses. So if I had to choose, I would just go with the cheaper guys in the same spot. Like, I would, rather than play Robert Covington, who is the best wing defender on the Philadelphia 76ers, I would rather play KCP, who is the best wing defender for the Detroit Pistons. Both of those guys are probably going to be leading the team in minutes, but Robert Covington is a lot more expensive than KCP. KCP is a very streaky three-point shooter. So is Robert Covington. These players are in very similar situations, and I would just go with the cheaper guys. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Miami Heat. This is a 215.5 point total, very nice point total. Surprisingly, there's only a 1.5 point spread in this game, so that means we can load up on some Cleveland Cavaliers players. I kind of like everybody except Kyrie. I just don't like the way the Miami perimeter defense restricts the point guards. And I know, Kyrie is an awesome talent. It's kind of matchup proof, so to speak, and above reproach when it comes to things like that. But I would just rather take LeBron, the guy who I know is gonna go out and ball in this game, and and I did that last night too. That's what I did that last night too. I would much rather just take him. I'd rather take LeBron. Knew he's gonna go out and ball. I like Tristan Thompson some in this matchup as well, going up against Whiteside. I think Whiteside can be a solid play, but I won't be trying to test the Cleveland front court with a center. So we talked about James Johnson. That's the guy that I would go to, the big that I would go to. This is one of my favorite players in the league, man, down the home stretch because no one wants to own this dude, and he is so consistent. The floor is like 30, excuse me, the floor is like, yeah, close to 30, and the ceiling is always around 40 some odd points. And dude just balls out all the time, and I really like him. So, back to the Miami side, Goran Dragic attacking the Cleveland Cavalier backcourt, most notably attacking Kyrie Irving is a must. I am going to have me some of that tonight. I also think that we can look to at the shooting guard spot. We know that Cleveland can be attacked at the shooting guard spot, so I would even think of kind of stacking that Miami backcourt. Man, we talk about maybe some Josh Richardson or even some Dion Waiters. It would be a really solid play there. So it's a lot to like, I think, about the Miami side of the ball because it's a nice point total, 215.5 points, but the spread is only 1.5. So I like that. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Toronto Raptors taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. If I'm going to pay up for like a stud, like a major key stud, I think I'm going to take a shot on Giannis today. I like him because with Chris Middleton in the lineup, it kind of takes just a little bit of the focus of uh, off of Giannis. And I think, well, because there's a chance that Chris Middleton might not play because they like to rest him on back-to-backs. We have to find out more information on that as it comes out. As a matter of fact, you can tune in on Twitter, man, and stay in touch with shit like Fantasy Labs because they give really solid really solid injury reports. So that's something we can look at. But I just like Giannis, man. I like him when he's under 10K, 9.8K for a guy that sees that much usage, sees that much court time. I think it's kind of a lock. I like him. I'm gonna be fucking with Giannis tomorrow. Today. Damn, I keep saying tomorrow. I'm used to taping at night. I keep saying tomorrow. All right, so that is it. That is who I like there. Also on the Toronto side, you can look at DeRozan definitely. I mean, the price is still okay on him. It's not a horrible price at all. And Toronto is in a pretty good spot, giving up 2 points. It's a fairly low point total at 204.5, but I'm not scared of that at all. I think it can be a really solid play. We talk about DeMar DeRozan. I do not like Serge Ibaka at all in this game. I think Greg Monroe is going to crush Toronto on the offensive glass. I also think that we could see a very solid game from Malcolm Brogdon going up against the defense of Corey Joseph. I don't mind Corey Joseph either in this game. This doesn't seem like it's a slate with it's going to be like terribly high scoring. Like we know we've been used to some low scoring slates over the last week, and last night it kind of jumped up a little bit. But anytime a guy is 28% owned and scores 90 fucking points, that's going to happen. So I don't think we have that type of I don't think that's going to happen for us on tonight's slate. I think the cash down is going to stay relatively 275. You're going to be able to cash there. 280, you'll be cashing. I don't think it's going to be a major difference, when it comes to guys just going off the charts and scoring all crazy. Because we had like four guys go ham last night, and that's really what raised the cash line up the way it did, which was cool. It was cool. The next game I'm going to talk about is the LA Clippers going to Chicago, and we got to find out if we are going to be seeing Chris Paul. Is Chris Paul going to play? Is Chris Paul going to play? That is the question. So, because he took himself out of the game of yesterday's game, so we need to know what's happening. Now, I know some things like we got a few things here. Yeah, we have to find out. We have to find out about Chris Paul. So now let's just assume that Chris Paul's not going to be playing because anytime a guy takes himself out of a game, I doubt the guy's going to play the very next night on back to back. So coach's son, yes, fire him up all day. I like him. I like him a lot. I think we can look to Raymond Felton in the spot. These are going to be cheap guys. People are going to be on them. They're going to know that these guys are going to be playing in place of Chris Paul. So you're going to see them everywhere. Get you a piece of the ones that you like. This kind of takes DeAndre Jordan off of the table for me whenever Chris Paul's not playing. Makes me want to lean more towards Blake Griffin. I'm going to have him in a few of my lineups. Jimmy Butler on the other side of the ball. Chris Paul not being on the floor kind of weakens the team defense, so to speak. So I do like Jimmy Butler tomorrow and today and Dwayne Wade. We can definitely go to those guys at 210.5 with the point total. It's only a 1.5 differential. I like this game a lot. I think this game can have some really solid fantasy contributions to it. I really do. Um, Portis is going to be matched up. Portis is going to be matched up with Blake Griffin. I'm now, and something about him. This is a young guy that really is desperate to prove himself in the league. He thinks he's a lot better than we do, and that may be true. Bobby Portis, like he thinks he's a lot better than we think he is, and that kind of shows in his play. Over the last couple of games, man, he's been lighting it up, and we've got to take a look at this man going forward. And go up against Blake Griffin, a marquee talent in the league. I don't see why he would not give out his very best output and try to really go out there and kind of make a name for himself. This game is a nationally televised game. It's at 8:30 on ABC. So you got Bobby Portis going out, Blake Griffin, and dude's going to want a ball. Now, whether that translates into him having an awesome game, but these are world-class athletes. Anytime you find them in a situation of when they want to play, when they want to ball out, you want to give them a shot. You definitely want to give them a shot because it could definitely help you out. The next game I'm going to talk about, Charlotte Hornets going to the Denver Nuggets. This is a 220.5 point total. That's a very nice point total on a state like this. You got the Denver Nuggets getting 5.5 points for the Charlotte Hornets, and automatically, what I'm telling you in this game is I love the Charlotte Hornets backcourt. I like Batum and I like Kimba. I like both of them. I think because you know what we can do to Denver backcourt. We know we can attack those guys, and they're just coming off an embarrassing game, getting the doors blown off them by Phoenix. The Phoenix second team mopped and spanked the Charlotte second team. The girls are waking up. Hey, all right, and you know what? I like the Charlotte Hornets backcourt in this game. I think we talked about Christian Wood being a very cheap play, 3K. He's probably going to see a ton of minutes without Frank Kaminsky. Also, if they still have Zeller's minutes restricted, I still would give him a shot because the price is very cheap and he's a pretty good point per minute guy. So I don't have a problem there. And I don't know how they would give up that many points to Denver. Jokic, man. Jokic is going to ball. I like Jokic today. I keep saying tomorrow. God damn, I keep saying tomorrow. I'm used to taping the show at night. But I do like Jokic today. At 9.5, I think that's a very solid price on him. We talked about, if Kenneth Reed is not going to be playing, how we can roll with Wilson Chandler, maybe some Danilo Gallinari. I like this game a lot. This is a stacked game. This game can be definitely stacked. Jimmy Nelson, if he does play, he has consideration because the price went down since he didn't play last time out. Jamal Murray does get to start at 4.8. That's very solid. There's a lot to like about this game, bro. I even like Bellinelli and maybe some Lamb off of the bench for the Charlotte Hornets, man, because anytime you take a guy out of the rotation, that moves a guy into it, so there's a lot to like. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Memphis Grizzlies going to Houston to take on the Rockets. This is a 221.5 point total. The Houston Rockets are giving up 8 points to the Memphis Grizzlies. And I want you to remember, Memphis Grizzlies hung with the Oakland with the Dubs, with the Warriors. They hung with the Warriors. They beat the fucking Warriors. This team, this slow-paced team. They don't like to run. They're very slow. They can't score a lot of points. Blah 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 blah. That's not true, man. The Memphis Grizzlies, they are a really solid team, and they can fucking score. And I don't mind. I don't mind fucking with this game right here. I think this game could definitely be a game that eclipses the over. The 221.5 points. This game could go over. It really could. And you can see some solid games from guys that you wouldn't really expect in these matchups. Like, you talk about Patrick Beverley being up against Mike Conley. Mike Conley could ball out against Patrick Beverley. I do think that we can see a really nice game from Marc Gasol. We've got Zebo's going to be coming off the bench playing really meaningful minutes. James Harden, you've got him 11.7 is the price on him. That's pretty cheap. 11.1 I think is the price on him. That's cheap. He's in play. You've got the three-headed shooting guard monster in Houston with Pat Bev, um, Eric Gordon, and Sweet Lou Williams stumbling and fumbling and bumbling and knocking down shots everywhere he can. So this game, I think, has a lot of fantasy goodness in it. The Memphis Grizzlies are involved, so of course, you're not overwhelmed with it's not bright lights and flashes and shit, but it can still be a very, very solid game. And I'm gonna have me a few pieces here. Definitely, I will have a few pieces of this game. Now, next game I'm going to talk about is the Minnesota Timberwolves going to San Antonio to take on the Spurs. This is the lowest point total, or tied for the lowest point total on the slate, 204.5 points. The San Antonio Spurs are giving up 8 points to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the Pels, man, Pelicans almost beat their ass last night. This is a back-to-back. You might get popped in this situation. I noticed they didn't play like 4 games in 4 nights or something like that, but it still is a back-to-back, and it's the last game on one of the last games on the slate. It's a 9 o'clock game. You've got Greg Popovich. You've got a bunch of old motherfuckers for the San Antonio Spurs. There's no like way you can know who is gonna be. And for that reason, I am going to restrict my overall use of the San Antonio Spurs players. The only guy that jumps off of the page to me that I know that I really kind of like is Kawhi Leonard, who, if I got popped with him, it would fucking crush me because he's 8.8K, so I'm not going to have too much invested in this game at all. On the Minnesota side, Ricky Rubio is in play for me. You can definitely attack San Antonio at the perimeter, most notably at the point guard position. I don't have a problem with that. Don't like too much about the small forward spot on either side, just because both teams are fairly decent against the small forward position. And I don't like to attack Minnesota at small forward. I don't like to attack San Antonio at the small forward spot. And I don't think these guys are going to cancel each other out. I think Kawhi Leonard has the better game if he sees if he sees the bulk of the minutes. But I just don't want to. I don't want to get popped, man, and I don't want to get locked in too heavy into this game at all. It's not a game that I particularly like. I just don't. Karl Anthony Towns can be a solid play. Maybe some Gorgie Jang. Looking off of the bench, if you think the game could blow out, because they've been getting their ass blowed out a few times this year, the Minnesota Timberwolves. So if you think you're gonna see like a ton of minutes from Nemanja Bjelica, you can take another shot at that. If you think you're gonna see a little more Shabazz Muhammad because it's gonna blow out, and you can do that as well. But I'm not gonna have too much invested in this game at all. The last game on the slate is going to be the Portland Trailblazers. It's going to be the Portland Trailblazers at home at the Motor Center, taking on the Brooklyn Nets. This is a 225 point total. Really, really nice point total, the highest one on the slate. Only problem is the spread is 11.5 points. And I'm going to tell you something I like about this, too. Now, Brooklyn just got the doors blown off. I'm going to tell you something I like about this. This is what I like. Number one, the late night hammer game is going to have one of my favorite players in it, Dame Lillard, big game Dame Lillard. Now, let's just check this out. If 225 points is the total, right, and the Portland Trailblazers are supposed to beat them by 11.5 points, that means there is a shit ton of fantasy scoring on the Portland Trailblazers side. The only thing is, it ranges deeper than the starting five. It's rolling from the best player on the court all the way down to the guys that are going to clean up and mop up after they blow the Brooklyn Nets out, right? So you look at those guys there, and those are the players that you're going to want to get exposure to. Now, you can start at the top. Oh, yeah, give me some Dame Lillard, give me some Dame Lillard. But remember, it's going to spread through the whole team. So do you want to invest that 9.6K in a guy that may not be on the court as much in the fourth quarter? No. Would you want to spend 7.5K for a guy? And CJ McCollum? Yes. That's why I like CJ McCollum in this spot. Then maybe some mid-level guys. Al-Farouq Aminu. You get you some maybe some Yusuf Nurkic, who I really don't like. He's kind of priced up in this game. I'm not gonna have too much of him. But maybe some you get maybe some Mo Harkless can be in there. You can rock with a little Myers Leonard in some spots if you think he's gonna get a solid amount of run off of the bench. Maybe some Ed Davis. Maybe some this guy's there that with this point spread being that wide and the team total being that large, there's a lot of guys you could take use of. And if you don't like all of them together, definitely, of course, you don't have to like all of them together. You can use them in certain spots. You finish compiling your roster, you get down, and you got damn, I only got 4.8K left or 5.1K left. Okay, go grab Maurice Harkless. That's a strategy that we can use. I like that. On the Brooklyn Nets side, Like I said yesterday, I hate trying to figure these motherfuckers out. I hate it because we know that somebody from the Brooklyn Nets is gonna ball out. Somebody gonna do it. Last night it was Quincy Acey. The motherfucker had 18 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 steal. Who the fuck can write this shit? You can't write this shit. So I don't fuck with the Brooklyn Nets like that. I just don't know who from day to day is going to be the guy to go out and score all the points because it's a different motherfucker every time. But I know who going to get right on Portland, and I'm going to be having a lot of those cats in my lineup. So this has been your DFS Jerusalem. Thank you so much for your support of the show. Appreciate everything that you've been doing for us here in the sweatshop. Had some really awesome showings last night. Shout out to everybody that cashed, everybody that used my Core 4 and the roster building strategy. We're able to get to the cash line. Thank y'all so very much. If you'd like to support the show, there is a box over here. It says support the show. Go ahead and click that box. Let it do what it needs you to do. Also, you can cop some DFS Sweatshop swag. Check the videos beneath. You're going to see a link to the booster. Go ahead and get into that. Also, you can support my personal PayPal at simmonsmaurice95@yahoo.com. And finally, if you want to become a full-fledged member of the DFS Sweatshop, go ahead, hit up the website at www.dfssweatshop.com. That is where you will receive all of our tips and tricks and tutelage that will make you a profitable daily fantasy sports player. This has been your DFS Jerusalem, and tonight, keep it 300.